Greetings all to a new game, Expeditions Conquistador. So a while ago I saw a Let's Player playing Expeditions Conquistador, and I thought this would be a really interesting game that I want to try out at some point, and it recently came on sale on Steam, so I figured why not buy it and give it a whirl. I haven't really gotten that far into it, but I just want to make sure it works before doing any sort of Let's Plays on it. And I'll admit I'm not that great at the gameplay for it because it is sort of difficult just because of how the mechanics are work and all that. But I'll basically jump into it and sort of show you what's going on. So basically, you're a Spanish conquistador. You basically choose your difficulty. If you go to the options and go to difficulty, essentially there's like 4 difficulties that you can choose from. There's Colombo, Cortez, Pisano, and then El Loco. We're going to go on Cortez here, and I'm just going to start a new game here, and I'll basically just jump into like the basics of what this is all about. Also note there's an Iron Man feature, but apparently the game's kind of buggy, so we'll avoid using that for this game. So we're basically just going to randomly make a name here. We're going to be Antonio Cambaston, because I can pronounce that. And basically we're going to make ourselves a little conquistador character here. I'm going to put at least up to 10 leadership here. And let's knock down tactics to 4. I want to get diplomacy up a little bit. Let's get diplomacy up to 10. Let's get a little bit of survival. So let's get this down to 1. Get scouting up to 6. Yeah, it looks fine for basically what you're doing here. Basically, if you read the manual, it basically tells you that you should focus on like 2 or 3 traits to basically play with your character. You can balance it out, you know, like abandoning a few things like this, and that's just fine. But they say focus on one or 2 things or 3 things at most. Don't try and focus in on everything, or else you'll be kind of a weak jack of all trades type of character. So do something well and do it good. And then we start going to our followers here. So essentially, with the followers, they have their own traits. Like this guy's, you can see, is aggressive, proud, adventurous. This doctor here, and I'll look at basically these classes here, but basically there's these traits for these followers, and then there's these classes for them. And you want to basically balance out your, little party you're going to be taking on to the new world with the balance, guys that you need to basically keep yourself alive. You'll want some hunters to keep yourself alive, and doctors to heal yourselves when you get sick, scholars to research stuff, scouts to scout stuff, and then soldiers just to kill stuff. And you want to balance out the traits too, so that they don't like sort of conflict with what you're going to be going after. So if you want to play like really diplomatic and not go after like killing people, then you probably don't want an aggressive person in your party. You probably want to have something like cautious or peaceful. Peaceful would be very good. And I think we'll bring along this doctor. For the hunters down here. Okay, so this guy's peaceful, altruistic, narcissistic. I'll note if you look at, just hover over it. Peaceful, basically you may gain morale when you manage to avoid conflict. And if you lose morale, if you deliberately seek out battle. Altruistic, basically you may gain morale if you give up your resources for a good cause. So he likes if you're being good. And narcissistic, if you're, basically he wants promotions, this guy. If you pass over for a promotion, he's not going to be too happy about it. Let's see here, other guys in here. So we got courageous. Courageous guys basically like to gain morale if you stand up your ground against a superior force. They like going after superior forces, those guys. And this guy's also proud and pious. Proud basically likes to, when you gain battle, but when you win a battle, you'll be very happy, this guy. Peaceful, altruistic, proud. That sounds like a good guy to bring along. Racist, narcissistic, and adventurous. Now you want to be very careful not to have too many narcissists because, if everyone wants to be promoted, then there's going to be a big problem for you. Cautious, proud, and pious. Maybe we'll take this hunter along. Now, it basically can balance out how these parties are going to work, but I think it's best maybe to bring along at least a couple doctors with you. Note that one of these guys here, she's racist, and then the other one here is open-minded. Open-minded and racist basically mean what type of ethnicities of people you're going to recruit. Some of these people don't like it when you, like, say, recruit a savage to the party, for example. and other people will be more than happy to allow them. They don't mind racism, like the open-minded people here. Maybe we'll hire her, so we'll have an open-minded party. Choose a proud. So that looks right. For a scholar, here's like another racist. Peaceful, courageous, adventurous. Open-minded, greedy, proud. A greedy is basically the opposite of intrusive, by the way. So basically, intrusive, they like it when you basically give, you know, your resources to a good cause. And then this guy here, he's greedy. He doesn't like that very much. He likes it when you gain resources. Peaceful, open-minded, and pious. That's a good one to bring along. Peaceful, cautious, adventurous. Peaceful, intrusive, courageous. Aggressive, open-minded, and pious. Aggressive, racist, and courageous. Alright, I'm going to bring around this person and this person. So, as you can see, we basically filled up most of our party. We've got a few more slots left. So... this soldier's going to come along. And as you can see, eventually you're going to run out into problems where you're going to have to balance out your party with, you know, people who you may not want to bring along. So, you have to sort of, you know, balance it out. This figurative fact that, yeah, there's going to be some problems eventually. I think we're going to bring around this hunter, so we're going to have 3 hunters in our party. These guys are aggressive. You'll like your scouts if you're going to play very aggressively, because as you can see, it's fairly easy to bring like, at least a couple scouts along. Let's get this guy. So we'll have all these guys here. Okay, you know what? We're going to dismiss a few of these guys until I get what I need sort of out of the way. Not just dismissed all my hunters. I didn't mean to dismiss them. I meant to dismiss the scouts here. Alright, so basically I've shut down the party this much. We're going to hire this person. Now, I'm not sure if this will balance it out so they appear in my... basically, you can't move around the guys in the character overview when you get into the game, which is kind of annoying. So there's my party. I've got basically 1 guard, a whole lot of scouts, a bunch of hunters, 1 scholar, and then a couple doctors. Now, notably, people like to say bring along war soldiers, so this might not be the best, basically, to go along with, but a lot of these soldiers don't really fit my needs, so to speak, so... I suppose he's not bad. Let's get rid of his scout. I'm going to bring along maybe this guy instead. So we got this guy, he's narcissist. This guy's a narcissist. Okay, so I got at least 3 narcissists. So these guys, the doctor here, that scout, and then this guy down here are going to all have to be promoted around, you know, when I'm promoting guys. So can't basically pass them over for promotion when we get into the game. And then here's like the final review of the character. So for tactics, I'm going to have like 8 tactics. It's not that great if I'm going to go into combat. Diplomacy is 12 though, so that's okay. Healing will have up to 5. Survival will have up to 13. And then scouting of 6. And then leadership, you know, you don't get any benefits from your troops. So here's like a little background about what's going on. Basically, you're going to beat Hernan Cortez to the New World, and then you're going to basically conquer people. And then, I'm not going to read this right now, but basically, if I do another Let's Play, perhaps I'll read this for you guys next time I would do it, or maybe I'll just skip it over. Because there's lots and lots of this background stuff that you basically read along.
That year, the Maria Teresa left Spain and set sails for Santo Domingo. Each of us had our reasons for going. But on the sea, they did not matter. The fraternity was our family, and we followed our captain. In the worst moments, we learned who we could trust with our lives. The troubles only strengthened our resolve. When we finally glimpsed the shores of Hispaniola on the horizon, relief and excitement washed over us, our hearts filled with the promise of adventure. Our welcome was far from warm, however. The Gobernador disbanded our group and stripped our Capitan of command. If we were to continue, the Capitan would need to win his favor. It was only the first of many challenges.
Yes, the first of many challenges. Now let's turn the volume back down, and then here's a little overview. When available, use preparation phase to select a good starting formation and to place traps and barricades. And we set you a path for expedition to travel along. Pressing space starts or stops you moving along that path. So basically, there's all these little tips that basically come into loading screens. There's some useful stuff to sort of pick up. And I haven't picked up all of it just to sort of let you know. I'm still very new to this game, but I think I've gone along just far enough I can get sort of basic of what's going on. So here's the tutorial. Welcome. Basically, welcome to Hispaniola. You're in the tutorial screen, blah, blah, blah. Basically, the tutorial will let you know where stuff is. The menu's up here for like all your like inventory and menu, character overview, and journal. Here's your compass map, and then down here is your make camp. Basically, make camp is what you do outside of cities, but we're in a city for now, so we'll do that when we get in outside. Interactive highlights are yellow, so we're gonna basically talk to this guy. Basically, we arrived to a new world and our stuff is getting seized, so they're not very happy about it. Let's say prosperous. So basically, he's gonna take our stuff. And I'm going to basically station someone to make sure nothing disappears. And I recommend doing that, by the way, if you're starting out, so that you don't lose anything. Let's see here. I forget which one of these guys are narcissists. Let's send one of these, this guy here to do it. So you signal for Rosla Padilla to head back into the cargo hold, and she nods and takes off. A single twitch by the left eye is all that betrays Nargo's annoyance at your insult. As your grace wishes, leave. Basically, we're going to have that, one soldier stay behind, make sure our stuff is, not stolen. Because if you don't do that, then someone steals your stuff. So you're about to squeeze past this cabin, blah, blah. My name is John, by the way, pleased to meet you. So you give your name, you nod, so you slip past him, then you get back to your business and pounding everything he owns. So basically, we're going to go talk to the governor. And basically, this governor is basically going to be, commandeering your men until you say otherwise. So basically, Senior Conquistador, I'm glad to see you come over here so quickly. Let's say, what is this all about? Straight to business. Very good. Blah blah. Basically, he's basically wanting to use your troops and your money to basically deal with rebels and savages that are sort of threatening the land of Hispaniola. So blah blah. They're my people. So you serve a Spanish crown, here I am, a Spanish crown. Your men and your ship are going to nowhere without my permission. So I basically need this guy's permission to continue on. So I'm glad, basically what you will help me do. He basically wants you to go do a little test with this guy. And this test is basically just a sort of tutorial about fighting. So you don't get yourself screwed up and, all that. So we want to talk to this guy. And basically, this guy's going to give us a little test. Is this really necessary? Let me tell you something. I've seen my share of battles, and fighting an inexperienced man is not a fate I would wish upon my worst enemy. These people are my responsibility for a moment, and you will simply have to indulge me if you want me to release them to you. Very well, let us have a mock battle then. That's precisely what I had in mind. Here, most of your people seem to be done loading their equipment from the refined ship. Why don't we go ahead and divide them into two sides? I'll lead one group, and you assume command of the others. Basically, he's going to lead three of my guys, and we're going to basically go head to head. So basically, he's going to take three of my guys, and I'm going to take three of mine. Now, I'm going to basically take in... Who here? Who's going to go in? Let's have our doctor show up. I'm going to have a soldier join the battle. And then we'll send one of the scouts in too. Let's send you in. To battle! Unused meat will spoil overnight, by the way, so you want to be, preserving your meat, but we'll get to that when we actually get out. For now, we're not exactly out. So, a big part of this game is going to be the combat screens. So basically, your people are Highland Blue, the enemies are Highland Red, and here's a mock battle. So, 3 of these guys are mine, but, basically the other guy's controlling them. I basically have to beat them up before we can basically continue. Alright, so basically I've got a doctor, a soldier, and a scout, and essentially my guys aren't that great at ranged combat. He's got himself a doctor and a hunter, so I basically want to be very careful about being hit by ranged attacks. I'm going to have this guy sort of get behind cover here, doctor, and let's actually make sure he's in cover. And essentially what we're going to do here, we're just going to sort of let these guys sort of come to us. I'll bring him all the way over here. The scout moves a whole lot of space, as you can see. And then when you think you're finished, put the hourglass, and hit, if you're going to lose, hit the white flag to retreat. Blah, blah. All the basic stuff is combat and all that. So we're just going to enter turn. Note that this guy defends because he didn't use all his move points there, I guess. And I'm not totally in cover here. They can still attack me here, because it's only half cover right there. But at the same time, basically what's happening here, that did protect me a little bit. And that's just basically giving you a bit of, introduction about attacks of opportunity and all that. Alright, this guy, you are going to go here, and here, and here's our first attack of the day. Attack! So basically your guys still run up to attack them in melee. Alternatively, if you don't want to do that, you can use your ranged weapons if you have them and fire at them like this. And note that line of sight basically, partial cover, or, all that basically will, negate your chance of being hit, or full cover will prevent you being able to attack and all that. So you're going to go here. And my scout, basically what he's going to do, we don't want this guy to attack us over here, so if you get into, leave a ranged character, they can't really do anything else other than attack you. Or they'll basically rebuke you, but essentially he's going to be locked into combat until he deals to this guy first. Or if he tries to run away, he's going to get hit by this guy trying to retreat. It's basically an attack at opportunity if he does it, so maybe we'll see that in a moment. He tries to attack. And there's an attack opportunity. So this guy moved away, and this guy got a free attack on him. He moved to my doctor, though, so the doctor can't move around now. There's abilities which can be used to make your day easier, like the doctor can restore, the soldier can basically do shield defense. Now, here's something really neat. Okay, we're going to basically move this guy like this. And he's going to get free attack on us, as you can see. But basically, if you're have guys adjacent like this, you basically get a flanking strike. And it actually says right there under melee attack, flanking strike. And you do extra damage when you hit them. Boom! And down one goes. And there's one death here. Let's hit you. And let's have you come over here. And why not? Let's have you go over here. And you can't do anything. You're stuck. Oh, he wanted to ask my soldier over there. He blocked. Cool. Now, the doctor can heal people, so let's do that. Let's have him heal the scout. Your doctors are very important, as you can see. You're down. And then there's only the doctor left. Boom. I probably should have moved this guy up a little bit, but whatever. Let's go like this. We're basically just going to surround him at this point. And, alright, next turn. And as you can see, he switched to melee this guy, even though he's got a ranged attack, because, you know, there's basically attack of opportunity if he tries to use a ranged attack on me, too. Basically, watch this. This guy's got basically an attack of opportunity. Let's try and range him right now. Or maybe he won't. Okay, there he goes. So basically, there's the attack of opportunity. He no longer has one, so if I want to, these guys can actually move away and all that, but there's really no need to. Let's just kill him. And down he goes. Flawless victory. So that was just a mock battle. It wasn't really a real battle. But basically, he's happy with it. He says, you're a tactician, you're good enough. Now we have to go talk to the governor and get our stuff unimpounded. So let's do that. Alright, so blah blah. Basically, he's going to be, you know, as he surmised, several problems, encroaching upon our control of the land. He wants us to basically deal with cult of pagans and all that. We'll do that for him. And he refuses to take his troops anywhere because, you know, the ruins. No one should go near ruins. East northeast from here, so that's where we have to go. We'll see what the decision's about, and let's get to it. Yes, I'm sure you figured it out. And then we have this person come along. This is well, she's not a captain, but she's basically Isabella de Euros. So let's take her hand and kiss it. You lift her hand and lifts and kiss it gently. She blushes ferociously and conceals a smile upon her land. Follow me, please. And then here's our stuff. And so we meet again. Sooner than I expected, I must admit, and I see you've met Elizabeth. She's a polite young woman, isn't she? The daughter of Andres de Uranus, who came over with Columbus on Santa Maria. So basically, you can basically talk to her about it. I have no time for this. I need to pick up my cargo and leave on my errand for the governor. Of course, what am I thinking? You're an important man and you have no time for foolish socializing. Winks irreverently, then he gestures towards the cargo packages nearly stacked on the wooden boardwalk of the harbor. So here it is, Captain, all the stuff. Good, you can verify this, and this is the guy who I sent, Padadilla. Padadilla's like, I've been keeping a close eye on the dock workers. They caught one of them trying to pocket some of our valuables. He won't be trying that again soon. So, haha, we got him. I'm good. I'm going to need horses and carts then. So, basically, with this guy, this is like the sort of last sort of, you know, tip I'll give you at sort of beginning. Please make arrangements at once so I can leave as soon as the cargoes have been loaded onto the carts. Or no slaves, I want paid servants only. So basically, you've often been slaves or paid servants. I recommend taking the paid servants if you can, if you're going to go diplomatic, because if you're going to try to avoid battles or, you know, get your stuff stolen, you don't want your slaves running off, for example, doing it. So, paid servants it is. So we pay a little values for it, that's fine. And then wait for her to speak. I hope you're following my Fort was, but would you permit me joining our expedition, Captain? Sure, we can do that. So we just basically picked up a new follower. Isabella Uranus has joined our expedition. Basically, I'll note by the way, here's like the follower management screen over here, so basically you can go in here and like do stuff. All that's a tutorial. Now, because I won my battle, I got some experience for these guys. So let's go look for our guys that have Narcissus on them. So this guy's Narcissus. He's the doctor. This guy's Narcissus, he's the scout. And this guy's the Narcissus, he's the soldier. And then down right here is the Uranus, she's the guy who we just joined. So she's peaceful, open-minded, and cautious. Excellent, because, you know, we got ourselves an open-minded party. And she's also cautious, which is great, because we're also going with that. And then give a little, you know, test about her and all that. She's got her skills here, so she's a soldier. Let's go in here, and we'll make our doctor level up. So we'll go to his skills. And basically, with these ranks, they get, like, a bonus to the ranks, but they also get special skills on top of it. So let's just go here. And basically, he's going to gain Cure. And basically, this will remove damage over time effects and negative all that. Get a little bit stronger. We can give him a little, you know, boost of stuff in here. So let's look around in here. So he can use some weapons, or if I want him to. And we're just going to look for all this stuff, as you can see. Enemy's critical chance when attacking his follower's hat. That might be very good for this guy, obviously, because he's a doctor. We don't want him getting killed. So let's have him get a little bit of. Let's see here, dodge or evade. Let's give him an evade. So the doctor will have some evade on him, so he won't be, you know, be able to hit so easily. And then because we level him up, we can give him some skill points. So let's give him some more what? Probably want to give him some more heroism, so we'll do that. Also note that you can give these guys equipment. So if I want to, I can give the doctor a little bit of equipment here. What I probably want to do, though, I want to give equipment to the other guys. The scout, for example. I'm going to give these guys to the guys who are going to level up too. So these guys that are Narcissus, these guys over here, we'll give them a little bit of equipment. The scout, I'm going to try and upgrade his weapons, because, you know, that's what they're pretty good for. And I'll give him a little bit of armor too. And as you can see, basically, this changes their damage up there, and it also changes their damage reduction. So this helps make him tougher or stronger and all that. And note that the scout here has no ranged attack, because scouts don't use ranged attacks. Only the other guys do. These guys are fully melee. This guy's my other Narcissus guy. So what do I want to make him do? If I want to, I can make him have really heavy armor, so maybe we'll do that. And then maybe we'll give him a couple glaives. You know what, let's maybe not do that. We're going to basically knock off a little bit of his equipment. You know, this just says light. I don't know if it really means anything. Maybe this is like the amount of like armor they can train, so as they level up, they can maybe get a little bit more armor to train up. Let's see, where's my doctors? So doctor. Okay, so yeah, as they level up, they can get a little bit better on their other stuff. Alright, this doctor, I'm going to make him get a little bit more defense, I think. So, you know, he doesn't get killed. Let's give him all that. So the doctor's a little bit armored. Now, if you want to, you can get some quests here and all that, but we're going to, you know, push on, I think, for now. Oops. I actually want to go this way and talk to this guy over here. And this guy is the guy we met, the guy who's impounding our stuff. And he's going to give us a few tips just to sort of, you know, get before we go on our way. Wait for Norga. So, thank you for waiting. I don't know what Marissa has told you about me. I may be past my prime, but I'm no fool. I spend a lot of time in my jungles, and I want to make sure you know what you're getting to. So basically, any advice you want, I will consider. There are many dangers on the island, savages, rebels, bandits, but the most important is hunger. So basically, you want to be very careful of hunger. I will be careful. Do you have anything else? There are 5 major settlements. Basically, tells you about all the settlements. If they try and move me, I will not find it such an easy task. Old man France. Well, yes, well, don't get ahead of yourself. Like I said, most Taino are very friendly. Well, that was all I want to say. Incarnatus Dios. So basically, you know, there's like the, you know, the happiness. Incarnatus. He basically lets us on our way, so let's go visit the outworld here. So this is like the world map. And leaving the city. This is where we basically have to explore the wilderness. Basically, the governor wants to go to over here to his ruined temple. So let's just, you know, navigate our way. Let's, you know, take this camera around a little bit. You can only go a little bit here, but... Oops. Now, I want to basically explore this first. basically these are like Karens, the private goal. And if you click here, you see your goals. Basically, right now we're going to jungle drums to basically deal with that guy. And then here's Tark the Outskirts. Basically, there's these Karens that we can go visit for a goal. And here's the other goals we've done already. Okay, let's go this way. And there's some herbs there, so we'll try and pick those up. Herbs are basically for medicine and all that. They're kind of important for keeping your guys alive if they get injured. And point of interest, what's going on there? Do I see anything? I think these points of interest are just Karens they have to visit. Possibly. Yeah, that's all it is. Alright, let's get over to here. Whoops. Be very careful when you're moving, by the way. You don't want to end up on the road, because if you do, you'll have to be, you'll get your stuff stolen on you. So, we are out of turns, and now it's time to make camp. So, basically, you got a camping system here, and you have to assign your tasks to your guys as you get into camp. We're in the jungle here, so we basically have medium of everything. And we all basically get all these guys to do stuff for us. So, we picked up a few herbs that we want to basically have, turn into medicine. So, let's have our doctor do that. This doctor, we'll need them both doing that, so we'll have her hunt. And we'll basically get a lot of these guys to hunt right now. Alright, so those guys are going to get us hunting up to 70. That's really, really good. We'll have our scouts patrol. This is how we can basically sometimes find useful things. And these guys can just, guard. Alright, so basically, we basically, I guess we have these above 50%, but honestly, we want to get as high as possible these things. Now, rations are also important. Basically, you want to feed your guys, so you can't have them getting hungry. We're just going to basically have them all take one ration, assigned to all. They'll take one ration each. And that'll basically just keep them content, more or less. If you give them more rations, they'll be happier, and then if you give them nothing, they'll be really sad. So don't do that. Camp. And then you get sort of like this random generator thing that pops up. So basically, your expedition consumes your rations. Your people process herbs into medicine. Your camp defenders hold up. Our patrols didn't get anything, sadly, and we got a meager catch, so we didn't get much meat. So that's not, the greatest to happen thing, but oh well. Let's get up to here and get these herbs. And it looks like we've reached our destination more or less, I think. There's a little bit of stuff here to pick up, so we'll get it first. Alright. Looks like we're not going to reach our destination today, so another day or so to get there. And I should probably just check this out to make sure I'm not doing anything wrong. Basically, you get a little bit of experience every time. I guess every day you sort of pass through. Alright, so we got some herbalism to do. That's fine. You can basically do that a little bit more, Mr. Doctor. And then these other guys can sort of stick to the task they've basically been doing already. Now, note that we got preserving over here. You basically collected some meat, and we're actually going to assign some of this meat to people. So, essentially, some of these guys are going to eat meat, and the rest of them are going to eat the rations. And then we'll just basically keep these guys more or less the same as they were before. So, camp and continue. Alright, so defense is held up. We got nothing again, and then we got a little bit better for the meat, so that's great. Okay, let's pick up these herbs here. Some more herbs. And then here's like our quest location, so let's get to it. So you approach the ruins, the sound of low primal chanting emanates from somewhere among them. At the edge of the jungle where the trees open up into the clearing, you stop your men and signal for them to stay low and stay out of sight. The ruins appear to be an old temple from a previous civilization, and you must have caught the pagans preparing for ritual. Men and women are decorating themselves with blue and white paint in different patterns, while others are piling up wood for a large bonfire. So let's see here. Assess the risk posed by the cult. Essentially, you'll get some options here, and basically, they're unarmed, but you see weapons in their reach. Now, you can single your troops to attack, or you can basically withdraw to attack at dusk when their, bows would be less effective, or you can just try a diplomatic approach. Let's try that, because I'm being diplomatic. So as you peer from the edge of the jungle, the nearest pagan shouts out alarm, and soon half the dozen of the cultists are forming a semicircle around you. Their weapons are ready, but at least they're not pointing them at you yet. Though their face paint and outfits are nearly identical, you guess that the leader is probably the woman who wears a slightly larger headdress. I mean no harm. I'm here to learn about what goes at these ruins. Alright, so Isabeth steps out from the jungle behind you and helpfully translates your words to a language that the pagans can understand. In response to when is pegged as leader takes a single step forward. I'm Kuz, Kuz's tribe. She's helpfully throws a note to Kuz and the tribal chief. You are our tribe. Perhaps a little surprised that you could not tell. You have interrupted our ritual cleansing. What do you want from us? What is this ritual about? Alright, every year we bring the preserved heads of our elders here. We arrange them around this holy site and call upon the spirits of protection. Then we create a bonfire and dance around it while providing a mystical chants for our ancestors. This is an ancient ritual that's been passed down for generations. So basically, you can kill them. While we reach this ritual, there is only one god. It's time for banning him false beliefs, so you can do that. Or you can say diplomacy easy. It sounds benign enough. I must ask you, however, to leave these ruins tonight after the ritual is finished. So let's try this. Behind you, Mercis erupts with indignation. Captain, surely you do not mean to allow these humans to go through these ungodly rituals. Basically, here's like the thing about your followers. If they don't like an action, they won't be happy about it. But we're going to try and be happy with them, so continue. Kaz turns to discuss the request with her tribesmen, then she turns back. Yeah, very well, we thank you for respecting our traditions, and in return we will vacate this site tonight, and soon as the ritual is complete. You thank Kaz and leave her to her tribe to vicarious rights. So basically you're going to be, nice and good. So basically we can look at our goals here. And report back to the governor and let him know the cult won't trouble the town any longer, so that's done. Now, we're just going to pop up over to here, I think, because there's a little bit of more herbs there to grab. And then we want to, head on out. Now, note that one of these people were not very happy about us doing that. She might get very low in morale if we aren't careful, so we want to basically watch that. Basically, if these guys get lower in morale, they make mutiny on you. And of course, mutiny is bad, so you want to watch out for that. Alright, I guess we'll backtrack, or no, let's go... Can I get out of here? Preferably I want to get out to, over to here. But I guess we have to sort of backtrack out most of the way, so... Too bad, we'll have to basically walk around, backtracking the way we came. Alright, so I can basically have these guys do whatever they want. This guy's doing a bunch of herbalism. Let's have you help him out a little bit, and then they'll lower hunting, but oh well. And rations. Now, note that I basically can assign all these lovely rations to people. And basically they'll eat all the rations that, or the meat rather, not the rations this time around. So camp. And we got some medicine. Patrol's held up. We gave some metal because the patrol's actually found something this time, and we got some more meat because it's a meager catch, but oh well. And we'll just press space to have these guys continue on. And it looks like we found a bit of more herbs to grab, so let's do that. And let's try to just stay off the road for a night. Alright, we'll have you just go and do a little bit of hunting this time around. And sadly, we can only assign so much meat, so some of these guys are going to have this rations. I may actually want to have more of these guys doing hunting soon, but for the most part it seems we're doing fine. We haven't used too much of our stuff yet. Okay, let's camp. And they turn some medicine. It looks like a patrol found some trinkets, so that's nice. And then we got some meat from eager catch, but oh well. At least the trinkets we can be traded, so that's okay. And looks like we found our point of interest. Let's go toward it. Ooh, this guy is good for food. Boom, food. So we won't have to worry about food as much this time around. And more food over there. Very nice. Do that next time. Alright, so we got some stuff to preserve. Let's have all these guys eat meat. And we only got 5 to preserve. So note that with preserving, you want to have some of these guys do preserving. So let's have... okay, she's not going to be able to do it all, so let's just have her hunt. And we'll have one of the hunters do, because they're better at it. Now note that we're in a different area. We have like low guard difficulty, but very high difficulty for patrol. So we're going to have a lot easier time hunting here, and you know, we'll have a very difficult time patrolling. As you can see, basically it boosts up our guard and hunting, but our patrol goes down quite a bit. This is fine, let's just camp. Camp defenses hold up, very nice. This is actually really lucky with the camp defenses. Usually you're getting stuff stolen left and right, but oh well. We gain some meat, because meager catch, oh well. Let's go kill this pig. And that's done. And let's just, you know, head back to Santi Diego over there. Watch my moves a little bit here because I don't want to get stuck in... Okay, this is a good time to serve. Punch out. Whoops. Alright, good, we're in a jungle. If you get in a road, basically what happens is the guard difficulty goes way up. And then everything else is, you know, patrol goes down, but you don't want to be guarding stuff on the road. Alright, we basically have a lot to preserve this time. I can make them all eat their meat ration, but I still have a lot to preserve. So at least are growing up with the meats finally, not down, which is very nice. We'll have both our doctors help with preserving, so I can have my under hunters do more or less of the, you know, the hunting stuff. And here's where we actually had like a failure of a defense. So basically guards failed to stop wild animals from making off our rations, so we lost rations. Patrol got nothing, and then we got a little bit of meat, so that's good. And we got a little bit of mashes from the stuff we just got from the pig too, which is nice. Alright, so back in town. Note that this stops the move counter, so that's nice. And I can basically just talk to the governor and say what's going on. Alright, so this time the staff lets you straight within delay, and the governor gets up from his you know, fancy desk and into your office. So they vacated the ruins they won't be using any longer. Well, that's perhaps not quite a permanent solution I have been hoping for, but it takes care of the immediate problem. You can re-establish trade with routes to Sanctuary Den. They'll benefit our economy greatly. I expect you to spend supplies and searching the jungle for those heavens. I should like to senior our treasurer to have payment for you, basically, you know, for your stuff. So that's very generous of you, Governor, and for problems you asked me to solve, I might be able to execute the sort of permanent solution you prefer, but that depends on my troops being well armed and armored. A fairer contribution towards better equipment would go a long way towards my success. Alright, so you make a coin with elements and grace. So very well, I raised the summon to 15 reds. Hopefully that will make a difference in your next game. So basically get a little more stuff from that. Now let's talk about the rebels. Yes, the rebels. To think our country would sink so low as to make war on the colony of Spain. So what's their aim? To overthrow me as governor of Ireland. Why? What will they do to do with the power if theirs? Anyone guess? Doesn't matter in any case, things will not turn out what you expected. Spain will cut off all supplies to this colony if it falls out of the crown's control. The slaves will rise up and we will be all killed. So who leads them? It's blah blah, you get a little bit of stuff in here. What should we do about it? The rebels must be defeated at all costs. The problem we'll find them. Galspan has recently been raiding our mines and mountains west of here, fingers say stealing our silver ore, blah blah. He's got our souls cower in fear. If you visit our mines and speak for our troops there, you'll maybe be able to track him down. As for the other group, basically there's 2 rebels. Talk to Captain Laris, your company is stationed there, and blah blah blah. Let's see here. I think this instrument is a higher priority, so let's do that. I have no opinion in this matter. They are both urgent for us to be stability of control. We are part of the problem you decide to deal first. I wish you good luck. Return to me when you're done. Alright, so one moment. He was looking earlier. He asked to tell me he'd like to talk to you. Blah blah. So at the market, that's where we go. Alright, so basically I think we've done a little bit of, like, you know, showing off what's going to go on. If you take a diplomatic approach, you can avoid a lot of fights, and it's probably easier to do it that way. Though, you know, your followers may not like it some of the times, like that religious little, you know, mishap there. But more or less, that's pretty much what this game is all about. You're role-playing your Conquistador, moving around in the world, and basically speaking to the nobles and all that. I hope you've enjoyed the Let's Play done thus far. Perhaps if you guys are interested in this video, I'll continue it on. And, we'll see how it goes from there. So for now, I hope you've enjoyed. Take care.